Chapter 3 Major Water Bodies. A quick glance. Major sources of water on the earth. Oceans and seas, characteristics and importance. Lakes and rivers, characteristics and importance. Causes of pollution of water and its prevention. Our Earth appears to be blue when seen from the space because of the presence of large amount of water in the form of oceans and seas on the planet. 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, while land occupies only 29%. Water may be fresh or saline. The major source of fresh water for our use are the rivers, lakes, springs, and glaciers. The oceans and seas contain salty water that is not fit for human consumption. Seas and oceans are natural habitats of a large number of species of aquatic animals, plants, and other organisms. For humans, these are source of food and means of transport. 97.3% water on the earth is found in the oceans. Only 2.7% water is fresh and fit for human consumption. Snippet: the distribution of fresh water on the planet Earth is given below. Inland seas and salt lakes, 0.009%, freshwater lakes, 0.009%, rivers, 0.0001%, groundwater, 0.68%, ice caps, 0.20%, atmosphere, 0.00019%. We cannot survive without water, and since fresh water is scarce, we should use it judiciously and avoid its wastage. Oceans are the largest water bodies found on the earth. The four major oceans in the order of their reducing sizes are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. The fifth ocean, named Antarctic Ocean or Southern Ocean, is formed by merging of the Pacific, the Atlantic, and the Indian Oceans. Let us study about these largest water bodies. The Pacific Ocean. It is the largest and deepest ocean which covers about 1/3 of the earth. It is estimated that it covers an area of about 166,884, 38,059 kilometers. Its average depth is 4,200 m. Its basin contains high and abrupt ridges, deep trenches, volcanic mountains, etc. Mariana Trench is the deepest point on the earth, which is located on the western side of the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean has a string of volcanoes along the coastal margins of the continents. It is surrounded by North America and South America in the east and by Asia and Australia in the west. It merges with Atlantic and Indian Oceans in the south. In the north, it is joined to the Arctic Ocean through the Bering Strait. The Atlantic Ocean. It is smaller and shallower than the Pacific Ocean. It is A-shaped and has many ridges, remarkable canyons and gorges on its basin. It separates Europe and Africa from North America and South America. It is mainly characterized by the presence of a long submarine ridge in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It is known as the Dolphin's Ridge in the North Atlantic Ocean and the Challenger Ridge in the South Atlantic Ocean. It is the busiest ocean in the world. It is surrounded by North America and South America in the west and by Europe and Africa in the east. It extends up to the Arctic Circle in the north and merges with Pacific and Indian Oceans in the south. The Indian Ocean. It is third largest ocean and has an average depth of 4,000 m. It lies to the south of India, west of Indonesia, Australia, and east of Africa. It is almost triangular in shape. The Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea are its northward extension. It covers about 1/5 of the total area covered by seas and oceans. It is wide open in the south. It is the only ocean to be named after a country. The Indian Ocean is dotted with thousands of small islands, some of which are of coral formation. For example, the Maldives and Cocos Islands. The Arctic Ocean is the smallest of the world's oceans, centering approximately on the North Pole. A narrow stretch of water called Bering Strait connects it with the Pacific Ocean. It is bordered by Greenland, Canada, Alaska, Russia, and Norway. Most parts of this ocean remain covered with ice throughout the year because of its closeness to the North Pole. The Antarctic or Southern Ocean. The Southern Ocean surrounds the Antarctica and occupies about 4% of the surface of the Earth. It is formed by the merging of Pacific, Atlantic, and Indian Oceans. Most parts of this ocean remain covered with large sheets of ice. Several seas lie around this ocean, such as Scotia Sea, Amundsen Sea, Ross Sea, etc. Temperature of ocean water. The temperature of the ocean water varies from place to place. It varies between 23 degrees C and 27 degrees C in the tropical zone, but it decreases towards the poles where it is about 2.2 degrees C. The temperature at the surface of the ocean is high. The water becomes colder with increasing depth. At greater depth, the water is very cold. Near the poles, it is nearly freezing everywhere. Salinity of ocean water. Salinity means the degree of saltiness of the water in the oceans and seas. It is the amount of salt in grams present in every 1,000 liters of water. The average salinity of the oceans is 35% per 1,000 liters of water. Salinity of water makes it unfit for human consumption. It varies from place to place depending upon rate of evaporation, the amount of fresh water added by rivers and rainfall. Snippet: the Dead Sea in Israel has the highest salinity of 340 grams per liter of. Importance of oceans. Right from the ancient times, oceans have played an important role in the development of trade and commerce. They help us in a number of ways. Oceans serve as an important means of transport. They regulate the climate and weather patterns of the world by transporting heat from the equator to the poles through ocean currents. They are also a source of clouds that bring rains. The tides and waves of the oceans are harnessed to generate power. They serve as a source of livelihood right from the small fishermen to the fish industrialists. They are home to a great variety of aquatic plants and animals. Their beaches serve as a recreating spot, attracting millions of tourists. Oceans absorb 50 times more carbon dioxide than our atmosphere. Seas. Large saltwater bodies that are smaller in size than the oceans are called seas. Some seas are parts of oceans and are partially enclosed by land. Such types of seas are called marginal seas. The Bering Sea, Caribbean Sea, North Sea, Arabian Sea, and Mediterranean Sea are some examples of marginal seas. Some seas, like the Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Aral Sea, and Dead Sea, are completely enclosed by land. Such seas are called inland seas. Such seas do not have any outlet into the oceans. Apart from the oceans and seas, which are major water bodies on the earth, there are some minor water bodies also like bays, gulfs, and straits. Bays are parts of oceans or seas that are enclosed by a curve in the shore with a wide opening. Some examples are Bay of Bengal, Bay of Biscay, and Hudson Bay. Gulf is a large inlet of an ocean or a sea deep into land with a narrow opening. It is more enclosed by coast and is larger than a bay. Some examples are Persian Gulf, Gulf of Aden, Gulf of Mexico. Gulf of Mannar is the largest Gulf of India. Strait is a narrow stretch of water that connects two large water bodies like seas and oceans. They also separate two land masses. The Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean are joined by the Bering Strait, which separates the continents of Africa and Asia. The Park Strait joins Park Bay with the Bay of Bengal and separates India and Sri Lanka. Malacca Strait, which separates Indonesia and Malaysia and joins Andaman Sea and South China Sea, is the largest strait of the world. Lakes, a relatively large water body of slowly moving or standing water surrounded by land on all sides, is called a lake. Lakes may have salty water or fresh water. They may be natural or man-made. Natural lakes are formed by Earth's movements, erosional or depositional activities, volcanic activities, or glacial activities. Although lakes are found throughout the world, 70% of the total lake water is found in the continents of North America, Africa, and Asia. Lake Baikal, located in Siberia, Russia, is the deepest freshwater lake in the world. Great Lakes of North America is a chain of 5 lakes: Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. Located on the Canada-USA border, they were formed by the action of glaciers. These are interconnected freshwater lakes, among which Lake Superior is the largest freshwater lake in the world. Lake Wanga is the second largest freshwater lake in Europe. It was formed by the movements of the earth, but was given a shape by the glaciers. Lake Titicaca is one of the highest lakes in the Andes Mountains of South America. It is located on the Peru-Bolivia border. Lake Victoria is the largest freshwater lake in Africa and the second largest in the world. It is located in Tanzania, Uganda. The River Nile begins from this lake. Chilika Lake is a saltwater lagoon located in Odisha, India. Lagoons are shallow lakes often found along sea coasts. These were once a part of the sea, but got separated from the sea by a coral reef or a sandbank. Importance of lakes. Lakes help us in various ways. Lakes help in maintaining the flow of a river. Lakes help in the prevention of floods during heavy rainfall, and in dry season, they help in maintaining an even flow of water. Lakes moderate the climate of their surrounding areas. Lakes help in developing tourism and providing recreation. Lakes are also used for sports activities like boating, water sports, etc. Saltwater lakes are used for the production of salt. Rivers, water bodies that flow naturally over long distances in definite channels with defined banks from a higher landform like mountains to a lower ground towards a sea or an ocean are called rivers. Rivers that have water all throughout the year are called perennial rivers. Most of these rivers originate from the high snow-capped mountains. They are fed by the melting snow and rains. Some rivers do not have water all throughout the year. Such rivers are fed by rains. These rivers are called seasonal rivers. Rivers are found in all the continents and nearly on every kind of land. Let us study about some major rivers of the world. Mackenzie River. Mackenzie River is the longest and largest river in Canada. It originates from Great Slave Lake at 156 meters above sea level and flows into the Beaufort Sea in the Arctic Ocean. St. Lawrence River. St. Lawrence River originates from Lake Ontario. It flows through parts of USA and Canada before draining into the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Mississippi River. Mississippi River is the longest river of North America that rises in Lake Itasca in Minnesota and ends in the Gulf of Mexico, covering a total distance of 3,766 km from its source. It lies entirely within the United States. Amazon River. Amazon River is located in the northern portion of South America. It originates in the Andes Mountains of Peru and flows into the Atlantic. Nile River begins in the rivers that flow into Lake Victoria in Africa and flows through Egypt, Sudan, South Sudan, Burundi, Tanzania, Rwanda, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda, and empties into the Mediterranean Sea. Rhine is one of the major European rivers that begins in the southeastern Swiss Alps. It flows through 6 countries, namely Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Germany, France, and the Netherlands. It empties in the North Sea. Danube River rises in the Black Forest Mountains of western Germany and flows through 10 countries, namely Germany, Austria, Slovakia, Hungary, Croatia, Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, Moldova, and Ukraine, before draining into the Black Sea. Indus River. Indus originates from the Himalayas in the Tibet region of China and flows through some of the highest mountains. It passes through China, northwestern India and Pakistan, and finally drains into the Arabian Sea. Ganga River. Ganga originates from the Gangotri Glacier in the Himalayas and flows through India and Bangladesh before emptying into the Bay of Bengal. Yangtze River is the longest river in both China and Asia and is the 3rd longest river in the world. Its source is the Ulan Moron, Bulan Mulun River, which originates in the glaciers of Tangula Mountains in southern Qinghai province of China. It flows entirely within China and finally empties in East China Sea. Huanghe River. Huanghe River, also called Yellow River, is the 2nd longest river of China after Yangtze and the 6th longest river system in the world. It rises from the plateau of Tibet and flows entirely through China and finally empties into the Yellow Sea. It is also called Sorrow of China because millions of people have been killed by its flooding. Wanga River. Wanga River originates in the Altai Mountains and flows through the western Siberia region of Russia. It empties into the Gulf of Ob, which is a bay of Arctic Ocean. Mori River. Mori River is the longest river of Australia. It starts in the Australian Alps and flows through New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia. It ends at the Murray mouth near Goolwa, where it flows out into the Southern Ocean. Importance of rivers. Humans have used rivers for irrigation in agriculture, for drinking water, and for transportation since ancient times. All the ancient civilizations of the world have developed and flourished in the river valleys. Even today, rivers are very useful to us in different ways. River water is used for generating hydroelectricity. Rivers regulate the temperature of the areas through which they flow as they can absorb more heat than any other liquid. Rivers provide cheap and convenient transportation system. Rivers provide support to diverse ecosystems and serve as habitats for many aquatic plants and animal species. Rivers serve as a source of recreation, such as fishing, boating and swimming. Life on Earth seems impossible without rivers. Rivers are worshipped in many cultures of the world. Pollution of water bodies. Pollution of water bodies is the contamination of water by pollutants such as chemicals, trash, bacteria, parasites, etc., which make it unusable for drinking, cooking, cleaning, swimming, and other activities. Water bodies get contaminated by the following ways. Many industries discharge harmful chemicals into the rivers and streams. Runoff from agricultural fields add weedicides, pesticides, and other chemicals to the water. Water is contaminated by the discharge of untreated domestic sewage, which leads to breeding of microorganisms in water. Oil spills and littering are a major causes of water pollution. Global warming, which causes water temperature to rise and kills aquatic animals and plants, also pollutes water bodies. Water pollution has a negative effect on our health, environment, and economy. It is a matter of serious concern for the whole world. According to the United Nations, every year there are more deaths caused by polluted water than all types of violence combined, including war. In such a situation, it is the duty of everyone in the world to contribute in preventing pollution of water bodies by following the steps given below. Wastewater from industries must be treated in treatment plants before being discharged into water bodies. Sewage treatment plants must be set up to treat domestic sewage. Use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides in agriculture should be reduced. Littering of water bodies by dumping garbage and other wastes should be. Glossary. Ocean. Largest water body found on Earth. Sea. Large saltwater body smaller than oceans. Bay. Part of ocean or sea enclosed by a curve in the shore with a wide opening. Gulf. Large inlet of an ocean or a sea deep into land with narrow opening. Street. Narrow stretch of water that connects two large water bodies. Recap. 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water, while land occupies only 29%. Major sources of fresh water for our use are rivers, lakes, springs, and glaciers. The oceans and seas contain salty water that is not fit for human consumption. 97.3% water on the earth is found in the oceans. Only 2.7% water is fresh and fit for human consumption. The four major oceans in the order of their reducing sizes are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Arctic Ocean. The fifth ocean, named Antarctic Ocean or Southern Ocean, is formed by merging of the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Indian Ocean. Seas are large saltwater bodies that are smaller in size than the oceans. Seas are of two types: marginal seas and inland seas. Natural lakes are formed by the Earth's movements, erosional or depositional activities, volcanic activities, or glacial activities. 70% of the total lake water is found in the continents of North America, Africa, and Asia. Rivers may be perennial or seasonal. They are found in all the continents and on every kind of land. Pollution of water bodies is the contamination of water by pollutants such as chemicals, trash, bacteria, parasites, etc.